I'm reheating some fried rice. I like to refry it when I'm reheating it. And I'm gonna do a little remix on this. Now, fried rice is, no joke, my favorite food. Actually, my favorite food is just rice in general and any kind of like rice protein combination. So I love like a roast con pollo or jambalaya, any kind of rice concoction involving vegetables and different proteins. If you're reheating some fried rice and you wanna do it in a skillet or a pan, I just do a little extra water just to bring some moisture back to that rice so it's not so dry. It tends to dry out in the refrigerator. So a little water makes things nice and fluffy again. The amazing thing about fried rice is the options are endless. Proteins, you can do whatever. This one has some chicken, some shrimp, and beef in it. You can do pork. You can just keep it egg fried rice. You can do vegetables, tofu. Really, like, the options are nearly endless. And the ingredients are super simple. You probably have some rice in your pantry. You probably have some soy sauce. And you can mix up the vegetables. Sometimes I put broccoli in there or use up anything I have left over in the refrigerator. So fried rice is definitely that go-to fridge clear out meal. Usually when I make fried rice, it's a go-to meal prep for me. It's something I have at least bi-weekly, if not weekly. I love it that much. But it's a good way to use up leftover proteins you have or take something out of the refrigerator. Now there's just the classic fried rice, you know, just some rice stir-fried with some vegetables and protein, but I like to mix it up. If I have some leftover rice or leftover fried rice, I just don't stick to the basics. So I'm gonna remix this into a Korean kimchi fried rice. Kimchi is super accessible in most grocery stores these days. I love this just on the side, if not in my fried rice. It's really good, goes with a lot of different dishes. Just as a nice fermented, crunchy, a little bit spicy side. And this is gochujang. It's like a spicy sauce. It's not too spicy. It's got a little sweetness, a little savoriness in there. And I just give a good squeeze of that in there. Don't let the bright red color scare you away. It really isn't that spicy, and it's really full of this like really kind of rich, salty, savory flavor. It's a little sweet too. Kind of think of it as like a sweeter sriracha or a spicier barbecue sauce. I don't want to kind of limit what it is, but it's an easy way to take some fried rice that you may have left over and maybe you want to mix it up, have a different flavor. Make this kimchi version. You can do this from scratch if you have some leftover rice, add your proteins, add your vegetables, add some kimchi, add some gochujang. This stuff is widely accessible in stores nowadays too. So this is just heating through. I love the color, the bright red color, since it is fermented. So I like that tang. And this is just gonna cook up. So it's reheated, those rice grains are now like rehydrated and fluffy again. Another remix you could do with your fried rice is do a curry fried rice. So do some curry paste in there. You can find a variety of sauces in the Asian section. So I've done a peanut sauce fried rice. So you take some peanut sauce, you just pour that in there. Thai fried rice, just add some basil, maybe some cilantro, some fish sauce. So there's a lot of variations on the normal traditional Chinese American fried rice recipe. This is almost heated through. Nice and warm. If you're gonna microwave your rice to reheat it, I would add a little moisture to it. So usually what I do is I'll just run the faucet and like splash some water in there with my hand. You don't want a lot, you just kind of want a gentle sprinkle on top. Or you can just grab some water, drizzle just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon, maybe a little less, depending on how much you're reheating. And just a little extra moisture will create steam in there, so it'll re-steam and re-fluff up that rice. So I'm gonna put this in. Soy sauce won't go bad at room temperature. A lot of Chinese restaurants have it on the table because you're using it up frequently. I want to fluff this up and then microwave it for another minute. Just give this a mix. I can already tell that moisture, these grains aren't so crunchy anymore. So really when it comes to fried rice, it's like, let me count the ways that I love fried rice. The amount of ways I've made fried rice. I've put sausage in there, like Chinese sausage. I've done seafood fried rice. The options are endless. You can also just throw a damp paper towel on top. That'll introduce a little bit of moisture. That's a great way to reheat rice. There you go, nice and steamy and fluffy again. You just need a little extra moisture. Anything kept in the refrigerator tends to dry out, so it'll also help the rice, the chicken, the vegetables just rehydrate. Say you're having like a potluck you can make up some fried rice, and if your rice cooker has a warm setting on, fry up your fried rice, put it in the rice cooker, keep that on warm. It'll be a good kind of crock pot or sterno or food warmer to keep your rice warm. Let's try this. I want to get a piece of kimchi because kimchi is one of my favorites. It's so super hot. Look what I did. Classic me. Despite my messiness, it's really delicious. So it's got a little bit of kick, both from that kimchi and gochujang. You can go a little less on the sauce, just in case you're spice averse, so you can get a little bit of the flavor without a lot of spice, but I like things spicy, so this tastes really good. Now that's a delicious remix when it comes to fried rice. It can sometimes be a challenge to get the perfect consistency of rice if you're making fried rice at home. One of my go-tos is I just get to-go rice, white rice from Chinese food restaurants, and use that to make my own homemade fried rice. They make the perfect consistency rice, and sometimes, you know, you can't get it right at home. And these are usually super cheap to order or pick up. Sometimes I get like 2 or 3 containers of rice, and you're like, what am I gonna do with all this white rice? Well, make that into fried rice, and that's a problem solved.